o'clock, July 27th, 2025, all of you in order. Item number 1 is review and approve the minutes of July 8th.
Make a motion to review and approve the minutes of July 8, 2025 Selectmen's meeting.
Move.
I move.
Seconded.
Sharon?
Oh, I can't do it. I wasn't here.
You
last
wasn't
week.
in second. Second.
Do something with
I
it.
wasn't here last week.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? So it's 301. Number 2 is the warrants and financials.
Make a motion to sign the warrants and financials.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. Number 3, review the bids for managed information technology service provider.
We had sent out an RFP to the people that showed interest in the past. We also put it on the website, and we received a total of 3 bids. Brian was kind enough to sort through them and dive into their bid proposal and come up with a summary of all the bids, and I'm going to let Brian talk about the 3 bids that came in.
All right. So it's hard to get bidders to all respond like you've asked them to in the RFP. So their responses, at least one of them has some errors in their response that I've attempted to correct. And that bidder also failed to email me a copy, so I didn't really have time to delve into it in great detail. But nonetheless, I think we're accurate here in at least what they've provided. So the 3 bids were from BTS. That is here. Ergos, which is a company that used to go by the name of API, and S.J. Rollins. The lowest bid for the annual fees is from BTS, and the lowest one-time upfront costs, again, is from BTS. So they are clearly the lowest cost solution of the 3 bidders. So there's, I'll point out here, this row, it says total per year. That's the total that they bid that will take care of your needs on an annual basis. I subtracted from that your current budget. Your current budget was $10,600. And then I showed the net budget increase on an annual basis. The bottom row of the chart is the maximum one-time cost. And what's illustrated here is if they replaced all of the computers and all of the monitors and all the keyboards, just replaced everything. But the intent of the grant was you would replace the hardware that doesn't meet the specs that you laid out. But if the current hardware does meet the spec, theoretically there shouldn't be a need to replace the hardware. So that's probably a greater discussion we're going to have with BTS, but that's the maximum amount, and I would expect that number to come down some, but I don't know at this point, because until they really dig into your existing hardware, they're not going to know. And Matt, did I represent that fairly?
Yeah, that's accurate. Without a signed contract, it's kind of hard to get into the nuts and bolts of it and see what's actually there. My intent was to kind of present something where I can give you a fixed cost, for 3 years, this is what it's going to cost you to manage your network, with the idea that we provide new equipment with that, so we have a known quantity, to work from. However, after speaking with Brian, we can look at the existing equipment you have, evaluate that, and see if it's worth rebuilding. I will say sometimes the cost to rebuild is higher than it is just to replace the equipment, because labor costs are high, and you gotta look at the long-term life expectancy of the computer. But again, discussion can be had about that, and I think we can come to an agreement.
The grant is a total of $35,000. So to the extent we can reduce that one-time cost, it makes it a little bit more consumable, if you will. So, questions?
Are where the PC and the per site, those are blanks, I take it those are included or not?
That was just giving the different bits. When you received the proposals previously, some people broke it up and other ones didn't, so this template was allowing them to portray it however they wanted.
Okay,
So those are zeros where they're blank.
okay.
So, total year cost and one-time cost, these are two different numbers.
Correct.
So we're talking about upfront, $56,000,
For the first year, yes,
in which the grant takes care of
35.
35.
And that 56 needs to be reduced by 10,600, which is your existing budget.
Brian, question? With the annual cost though, we could probably work out something where that would be billed monthly, so we wouldn't be absorbing that all in 2025, but we could spread.
That's the
that monthly.
expectation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my desire.
I illustrated it as annual costs because typically your budgets show annual costs. And so,
Correct, and normally we would be looking at what's it gonna cost us for the town's calendar year.
right. Other questions?
So BTS is cheaper, or I don't say cheaper, lesser good.
They're the lower costs.
Lower cost.
They're not gonna get cheap. You're cheap, but you're gonna get cheap.
There is a sense of urgency here as well,
There is.
because your conversion from Beeline cable and your existing emails has a quote-unquote deadline out there, which I believe they have some wiggle room on that, but nonetheless, it's not forever. So the sooner you make a decision, the sooner we can get BTS engaged and start solving these issues.
I think we need to have emails in 3 weeks. Is that until the 14th of August? Is what they've given me for a date, and whether there's wiggle room, I don't know. So it would be nice if we could award a better time and get started on it. And you would be helping to set up the emails with preferably a main.gov. I talked with Brian about that.
Yeah, I've got some advice on that I could give you, but yes, we could do that pretty rapidly. I do have a technician that lives in Solon, so even though we're based in Bath, I just want to make that clear. It's me living in Anson, but also I have a technician that lives in Solon, senior tech.
Oh.
Plus we can, I've got 20 individuals, and we go all over the state, so. The email issue can be resolved pretty quickly.
Yeah. I did notice you had quite a few references. I didn't get a chance to give them a call, but you had quite a few municipalities, so we're not new to you. We're familiar with working for local.
Okay, make a motion to accept the services. Oh,
Well, I forgot to, I am gonna spend some time tomorrow, really reviewing this again, making sure that everything is accurate, so you might, if you're voting on it, vote with the assumption that this is correct, unless I come back to you and say we got a problem.
So how should they word a motion, maybe to accept low bidder if that's?
Accept BTS as the awardee, subject to final verification of the bids.
I'll make a motion to accept,
I have a question.
yes, okay.
I just want to make sure, and I know the answer, but I want to make sure. You have no relationship to any of these companies?
No.
Okay, I have to ask.
That's a great question, no,
I have to ask the question.
I do
Because
not.
all of a sudden you stopped us, and I understand why,
Right.
but I just need to make
Yeah.
sure.
I'm a consultant to Somerset Economic Development Corporation that is running this grant program. So I'm helping them and facilitating it. That's my role.
All right, once again,
Third down the job.
make a motion to accept BTS for the technology service provider
With the condition
with the conditions.
stated. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Number 4, discuss the Somerset County 2 payment plan for the town.
I spoke with Tim Curtis, he's the county administrator. He did work up the numbers, should Anson decide to take advantage of the 2 payment option that's being offered. The county assessment this year is $410,000 and some change. If we do the 2 payment plan, it'll be about $4,200 of interest that we would have to pay additionally on top of the $410,000. And that would need to come from our overlay once we commit taxes. If we couldn't get a commitment before the end of August, I would say and recommend that we should probably do this, depending on when money trickles in. But if we can do a tax commitment before the end of next month, then I think we'll be all set to just pay it up front. If we pay it up front, it's the same as it's been every year. It's due, I think, September 1, but you have until October 31st. Come November 1, interest starts. So as long as we make that payment prior to November 1st, and I would think by November 1st, we're gonna have the bulk of the taxes that, it should come in within 30 days. I didn't get a chance to look at the tax revenue stream from commitment date last year and see how much came in within the first 30 days, but I'm sure it was significant. And as long as we even get 50%, I think we're in good shape. So it's entirely up to you. If you want that that option, I do need to let them know by August 15th. They will be charging a rate, I think it's 4% if we do the payment plan. If we don't do the payment plan, I think the delinquency is at 7.5%.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
We pay the county tax
Judge?
annually, and in the past, it's always been one payment.
Correct.
And
So where does the 7.5% come in?
if you're late, let's say the
If
town
you're
has a
late,
cash
okay.
flow problem,
So,
and we don't have the cash.
if we
flow.
go with the two payments,
Mhm.
they're gonna charge us $42,000,
They're gonna
For the
charge
second.
us, they're gonna, $4,200.
$4,200.
Correct, right. So that's an added cost to the town, which is unbudgeted, so it's going to have to come from the town's overlay.
Okay, so my question is, and you kind of answered that, but I need it straight.
Mhm.
Can we make that payment, the full payment, before we start having to start paying interest?
Yes, I believe we can.
Okay. Then I don't think we should spend any more money.
I don't either. I think we're going to be okay. I would like to take a look at last year's number, though, to be certain that we're getting 800,000 to at least, $1 million or so in the first 30 days. Should
So you need another 2 weeks to make this decision, or do you want the decision tonight?
I would really rather have a decision tonight and be done with that. If you want to defer it for a little bit, I can go, before we adjourn, I can go run the numbers and then we can circle back to it.
We can change it anyways.
You could change it, yes, yep. Yeah, when's the next meeting?
I mean, I have no problem
We may have another meeting
with
before.
making a decision tonight, I just want to make sure that you're sure of yourself. And if it comes to the point where we need to change it, we can. That we don't go too much time goes by where we can't make the decision.
Right, we do have one more meeting, so I would say, let's vote to not take this option. And if I don't feel comfortable after looking at the revenues by month after the commitment last year, we can circle back to that and rescind this vote tonight and re-vote on the 12th. Does that sound okay?
So it'd be a motion to stick with the once a year.
It would be.
Correct.
Mhm.
Make that motion.
I second
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. Update on the warming shelter?
That was an item that Brenda asked me to put on the agenda. She did reach out to Mark Campbell and Troy Dunphy and talked about the kitchen and the use of the kitchen and the bathrooms and that sort of thing. They wanted to have a meeting and they asked that Mike Smith from EMA be invited. So Mike is currently on vacation, and as soon as he gets back, they're gonna set up a date to meet. And so that's all Brenda had given me for an update. So I guess we'll just have to wait to get that date, and then we can move forward on that matter.
Number 6, update on waste management's rate increase.
At the last meeting, I had reported that what the old rate was and the new rate, which was greater than the 3% per the contract. But then when I reached out to Waste Management to ask for last year's rates and looked at the letter, the letter was correct. I just didn't read it close enough, so my apologies there, it was an error. What they were telling me is the new rates for the commercial entrance and then the new rates for the residential transfer station. I was forgetting that we have the commercial haulers here in Anson that drop off, and through our commercial haulers, the cost for tonnage is cheaper than through the back gate for the residential piece of it. So when I got the current rates, and multiplied it by the 3%, I come up to the new rate. So I just didn't want to think that I ignored it. I did want to let you folks know that that letter is correct and everything is.
So the new rate is 102.
The new rate for the residential is $113.91 per ton.
What was it for?
The old rate was for the solid waste was $110.59.
But the all-in rate.
For the commercial contractors, right now, it is $96.36 per ton, and it's going to $99.25.
Okay. Thank you.
What was the new rate again, Nancy? Sorry.
The new rate is $99.25 for the commercial.
And that takes effect August 1st.
It does.
All right, number 7 is update on ATV road designation.
I had reached out to Jeff Ireland after our last meeting and asked for his input. He is here tonight to help us with our discussion. Before we get on to the new request of Fayette Pond Road, to kind of circle back to the roads that were on that list at town meeting and in Hilltop that we added. What he would like to do is to coordinate a ride-along with Artie to complete a list and a cost per sign. So I tend to agree. He thought maybe one at each end of the road, and then at significant intersections, and also where an ATV trail crosses any particular town road should be adequate signage. I think you're spot on that, Jeff. And then figuring out, who and how we're going to pay for them. He did say that if Highway could put the posts in, that would be supplied by the club, that they would go around and put the signs on. But he would like to know, like, where at Artie's direction on the post, so that if they're pushing snow back or plowing, it's not in an area where the post is going to be damaged or bent. Did you want to add to that, Jeff?
Sure. So, one thing is, I don't know if I just misheard or it was misstated, but the Fayette Pond Road was on the original list.
It was.
It wasn't an addition.
Okay.
Hilltop was an addition. I can explain that
Okay.
in a moment. Artie's given me a list of some homework that he has done and relative signage, and I'm resistant. I'll say that I'm resistant as a fiscal conservative. I'm not resistant to the call paying for this, but I'm resistant to us just digging into the checkbook to pay for this, because there's very few people that are impacted beneficially by it. So I'd rather that we were able to put together to do some fundraising rather than empty our bank account to pay for it. And such, there's also a couple of changes in that we need a bridge in an area between Hilton Hill and Mary Road, yes, thank you. And we hope we're going to have the bridge done this year, but because of the way our grant went, the bridge is going to happen, so essentially we have a dead end out there. So I really don't want to spend any real effort on signing or opening anything beyond Hilton Hill Road at this point. Our priority, as far as I'm concerned, our priority is, right now, is Fayette Pond Road, because the Emden Club does come to the town line, and people are riding it anyway, because even though there is an end access sign. I'd like to open, as soon as possible, I'd like to open Fayette Pond Road from the trail crossing on Fayette Pond Road back to the town line. That's one of our goals. And then the other thing that I'd like to work toward is Hilton Hill Road, Hilltop Road, and Smith Road. And that gives the people that are in that area the ability to get to the trail system once we get our trail open back up through the old county road and across through Lloyd's old pit, which needs some work, which we are addressing as soon as we're able to. I have some signs available that were left over from our Madison project. The situation is a little different. These are more rural roads we had in Madison. Madison is more in-town roads. We did Madison. The project was estimated at $3,700. We had a bunch of signs left over that we didn't feel that we needed to actually install to give good coverage. So I have signs. If anybody's not familiar, I think most of you have seen them, but I've got samples here where you have to stop. These are reflective signs from White Sign Company. They make a lot of DOT signs, they're professional grade signs, 040 aluminum, reflective, so when the light hits it, they really shine. You can't miss them. That's the sign that goes at the end where you're supposed to stop. And then this is the standard access road sign. They look familiar. You've seen them around all over the place. These are again, the word they are opposite. They're a negative image of the state highway signs. So state highway signs, it's easy for people in the know to differentiate whether they're on a state highway access road or local access road. The state highway signs are green with a white lettering, and these are white with green lettering, so they're opposite. And the design is intended that way. I don't have an exact count. I have a bunch of new and used signs in my shed. I have plenty of signs to do what the ask is now. It's just a matter of working with highway to make sure we put the signs so we're not replacing them every year, replacing posts every year to get them so they won't get clobbered by snow. The reason we're asking, the reason I added Hilltop Road is our connector from in town to that area. We go up across Arles Prebbles Tree Farm, and we have historically gone by way of Murray Lane, and then through a bunch of people's backyards and up through the field, and the names escape me, forgive me, I'm not an Anson native, but the place that just sold Buzzy's yard, which sold recently. Haven't had a chance to talk to them, what their feeling is on that, but historically that trail has seen, that trail has seen so light traffic that we've had to mow the trail. It doesn't run up the fields, it's just the grass gets so tall I can't see what the trail is, but now that we've got the rail bed open, there'll be more traffic on it. I don't see any of these access routes or routes as going to be any high traffic, because it's not a destination. These are predominantly, at this point, going to be for people to get to the Kenneth Valley Trail so they can go to Greenville, and wherever they want to go. I don't see riding groups coming from counties away to go ride the access routes in Anson, going full wall. They're dead end at this point. So I see there's going to be more traffic on them, but I don't think there's going to be that. And I'd rather not have them through the backyards. Through that neighborhood, I think it'd be more efficient for us to jump off the Kenneth Valley Trail on Hilltop Road, and as you're going north, you would take a left onto Hilltop, go to the four-way, but not the four-way stop sign, cross horseback, and then go to the tree farm and kind of cross from there, which I need to talk to Artie about us doing a bridge or a culvert to get through the ditch there, a little more efficiently, but I think that's it. I think that's basically what I have. We got a lot of guys and gals in the club that have some good ideas for some fundraising. I already came up with a preliminary estimate of about $5,700 in signs, posts. I don't think it'll be that high. I have a pretty good contact with White Signs. I think I might be able to get signs for less. We're a nonprofit. But that said, I mean, I can write a check with our board's approval to pay for that, no problem right now. But again, with the limited benefit it is for the entire club, the entire area, just for the residents to be able to get here, I'd rather not drain the account to do that. I'd rather come up with alternative funding to do that, which is doable.
So your priority was Fayette Pond Road?
Highest priority right now, I think, is Fayette Pond Road.
Okay, and then Hilton Hill Road was next?
Hilltop Road and Hilton Hill Road.
Yep, and then what was the fourth one?
Smith Road, only because there's a couple of
Okay.
club members up there that would like to be on.
Smith Road on the
Smith Road wasn't on the original list. That was my error. I think if anybody has a copy, I don't have one copy with me, but if anybody has a copy of the original map that Tammy grew up on, I've got a high level of confidence it was originally on that map. Highlighted on the map, and it just escaped me because the roads are tiny. But if that's a deal breaker, we can certainly leave Smith Road off. And realistically, you know as well as I do, people are gonna go where people are gonna wanna go. Making them legal makes it less of a temptation for people to just do it and be looking over the shoulder the whole time they're doing it, and maybe doing things they shouldn't be doing if they know that they're legal and they're in the right, then they should be able to idle along with traffic and not create other problems. As an aside, complete aside, I've been in regular contact with Denise down in Madison, and there's been, we've opened up basically the entire town of Madison where roads are posted at 45 miles an hour or less, or excuse me, my bad, less than 45 miles an hour. So 40 miles an hour and less, and the problems have been minimal. There's been no complaints. I've addressed a few in my shop on Main Street. I see a lot of traffic, ATV traffic, and I've spoken to a couple of people about maybe it'd be better if we did things this way rather than that way, and everybody's been really good about it when I've approached them. I'm going to catch them at the gas station.
Do you think you have enough signage in your inventory to cover these 4 roads
Yes.
if the board approves on time?
Yes, I'm certain that I do.
Artie, do you think your crews could put up the posts, the sign posts on those 4 roads?
Yeah, we should be able to. I mean, I'll just have to work it into our schedule, that's all. But I told Jeff that if we're on the road with a piece of equipment, I ain't got a problem putting signposts in, so.
If I could add one more thing. One of the things we did in Madison upon the road commissioner's advice over there was we were in a situation where you're approaching a road. So an example might be, I'm struggling with an example, but so the intersection of Preble Avenue and Hilltop Road. What we've done in Madison is we've taken the top bolt of the stop sign that's across the intersection, swivel the sign down, put our access road sign behind the stop sign, so the stop sign is facing this way. The access road sign, as you're approaching the intersection, the access road sign is on the other side of that, so that really relieves a lot of need for posts. We used a lot less posts than we thought we were going to do in that situation. Obviously, that doesn't meet the need every time, but if it's not a DOT intersection, I don't think anything really comes into play about the ruling of it. It doesn't hinder the ability to see the stop sign whatsoever, because it's on the opposite side of the post.
Jeff, how long has the sign's been up in Madison?
So Main Street has been signed since last October, but that's an MDOT access road. And that's signed from the trail crossing to Roy Drive, which is essentially where the ice cream stand is, 1.7 miles out. That's been done since last year. The town streets have been approved since Madison Town Meeting last year, but the signage didn't happen immediately, which I won't get into a big, long debate or story about that unless you want me to, but short answer is about 3 weeks ago, I think we signed, 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, we signed the side streets in Madison.
And as we know, that anything new is any vandalism, because...
Not that I've been made aware of.
Okay.
I live on probably one of the busiest side streets in Madison, and I have heard ATV traffic after hours, but you hear it, and I notice it because I'm in tune to the sound, but it hasn't been people racing by or really, racing the dickens or anything like that. It's been people, if I had to guess, some of it might be people that were riding the trail and they've had a problem with it back later and they thought they were on their own way home, but it's been, 1 or 2 machines, sometimes 9.
And nothing with the signs?
No vandalism of the signs that I've been made aware of. I haven't studied every one that we put up, but nothing that's stood out to me.
Thank you.
So are we approving these roads as he wants them done, or these are all approved anyways?
None of the roads are approved
Okay,
yet.
so we're just simply approving these 4, I think it's 4. And as we move forward, we approve more. Is that what we're...
As they get more signs. And
That's
what
That-
that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
That's an option, or you could approve them now, but they wouldn't be legal until, by the statute, they wouldn't be legal until they're properly signed anyway. So that's okay. I mean, we can come back in 2 months or whatever to the next meeting when we're ready to do it again, and when we're ready to expand. It's not really so much lack of signage and lack of funding, as lack of a bridge between Hilton Hill Road and headed west from there. I really don't want to there's a bridge there, but it's not spectacular. I really don't want to put any traffic on it, other than me, myself, and my trailmaster's helper, so.
I don't know whether we'd have to come back personally, I think just give a note to Nancy saying these are the roads that we would like to open next.
Sure.
That kind of thing. Unless you want to do them all.
No, I think we should do them as big and close to being signed.
So what's the step you have to go through to get the DOT roads done?
So the step to do the process of the DOT roads is it has to be, it's a multi-step process, so it has to be, first of all, voted on by the club. The club brings it to the board of selectmen or the governing organization in the area, town or county. The county approves or disapproves. If it approves, then it has to go to the state of Maine ATV program director's office, who has to analyze it. And then if it passes all of those, then it goes to Maine DOT engineering. And they literally send out an engineer every time. They do a traffic count, they do an accident count, they do visibility, sight lines. There's 25 criteria that they check to see whether or not they will approve it. Width of the shoulders, the historic crash data, all kinds of analysis. That's done. I suppose it's done on the taxpayer's dime, but it's not it's done as part of DOT's processes of what they do. They have the option of charging the club for the signs. If it's a DOT access road, the DOT will install the signs and maintain the signs. They have the option to invoice the club for that. Knocking on wood, I've been doing this grading access roads around Somerset County and Piscataquis County for near 20 years. I've never received an invoice, so I don't know what happens in the process. The Greenville Club received an invoice of $3,700 to $3,800 when they expanded their access road from Pertham Avenue to Indian Hill. And I don't remember the sign count, but I can buy signs for about 20 bucks a piece and install them with club labor generally. If the DOT installs signs, they're about $150 a piece for them to install them because they're paying staff to install them and supervisors and whatnot, so.
So are any of these in the process?
I'm sorry?
Are any of these DOTs?
No, you guys would be the second to know, because I would, when the club says that let's try to do this, it's time to try to do this, I would then come to you guys and ask for there's a form that has to be filled out by the town and by the ATV program director and by the club and all that, so.
Historically, how long does it take? I mean, average?
This time of year, 8 months, 9 months. So we applied for, so what happens, what coincides with this, of course, right now is road construction. So the same engineering people that are doing the road construction are the same engineering people that are doing the access roads. So this is a bad time of year to try to get stuff approved. Ironically, the best time is in the middle of winter. And Madison Town Meeting, I think, is early June. It was approved for both the local and the state access roads in one fell swoop with that. And I processed the paperwork within a week or two, and Maine DOT was putting signs up the middle of October, almost the end of the season last year. So whatever that.
So we're talking spring.
Months easily, realistically, probably be springtime before we saw it, unless something changes in the upper echelons of the state.
There was just one of the state roads that I was thinking about, because it's 234 from Town Farm Road on Ricketts Corner down to the rail trail. Because that opens up the Carabasset Road, Town Farm Road, and the Fallon Road, and I bet there was a dozen machines both days this weekend that was riding that road.
There's a ton of them.
Yeah,
In that neighborhood,
yeah, because they're coming from up on Carabasset Road, they're coming from 4 Mile Square forward.
Yeah.
The Town Farm Road plus Fallon Road, and those, I mean, a lot of them. So if that's a state road that could get done to get the wheels turning, that would be a big help to a lot of people.
Right. Another one right in that neighborhood is Valley Road from 4 Mile Square Road to Palm Hill Road, which I think we decided was probably over. I haven't measured it. I don't know if you've got the magic thing in your truck to measure footage. You might want to measure that. If it's over 1,500 feet, we need to get DOT approval on that too.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be iffy because it's just this close to that. But when you open that up, that's going to put more traffic over to the road that you don't have a bridge on.
That's correct.
So
Yes.
if you open up from Ricketts Corner, Town Farm Road to the rail trail, then you got 3 town roads, and that's going to open up a lot of access so that people would be legal that's driving.
If it's the preference of the select board, I can get the paperwork started on that this week, if that's something that you guys want to pursue. I'm all for it, but I wasn't gonna push for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem, I just want to get the paperwork started, it's gonna take that long at this point.
All of the ones that are marked DOT.
Well, we got the main street right here too, that there's a lot of people using to get down through.
My thought process on, and again, I'm not being a resident, I don't want to, I feel like I'm speaking out of turn a little bit. My thought process with the Main Street area was there'd be less than 1,500 feet in Hilltop. They could theoretically go from here, if they were going to the restaurant or the nail salon or the town office or the post office, they could go off the railbed down Hilltop, and then they'd be less than 1,500 feet to everything from there to here. But if there was an interest in Main Street, you know, within the 35-mile-an-hour zone or the 25-mile-an-hour zone, then I'm all for it as well.
So if it's within the 1,500 feet, you don't need signage?
Yeah, so the initial law was designed years ago to allow people to get across bodies of water, river crossings, stream crossings, give you 1,500 feet to get a trail to the road, to get across the bridge, to get back onto the trail. It's kind of evolved into trailhead to trailhead, or and it's open to interpretation, but basically it's been, if you live within 1,500 feet of a trail crossing or an access route, then that passes the test as well.
So yes, as far as I'm concerned, sorry, get the DOT stuff moving.
Or we have to do one for each
Whatever
piece
the
of road.
DOT is.
Main Street, and write this down. Main Street, Valley Road.
Valley Road / Union Street. Because Union Street starts at Campground Road.
And that was a few tables too, right?
Good.
So we're gonna authorize those 4 roads.
Make a motion to authorize those roads.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion?
Do you need an authorization from us to do that?
So generally speaking, been a year since I've done it, I believe there's a place for the town administrator to sign, but also it helps the cause if there's something on town letterhead signed by the board of selectmen that they approve of the project. I don't know if it's contingent upon that or not, but we've asked for that typically in the past. They've got one from the town of Madison on town letterhead.
Would this be 2 motions?
Yes.
All those in favor of the 4 roads being opened? 4-0.
And make a motion to get started on the DOT roads.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. You all set?
Excellent, thank you.
Number 8.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sign the municipal claim deed for Harold Thibodeau and David and Darlene Merrill.
A motion to sign the municipal quitclaim deed for Harold Thibodeau III and David and Downey Merrill.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. Department heads. Sergeant?
I was ditching and putting culverts in, I got 2 roads left for the culverts, and those will be done, so by the first of the week, those will be all done. And winter sand that's pretty well done now. It's all screened, not all or nothing. So when I get the culverts and the ditching done, I'd like to start on putting the rest of the gravel on for the bridgestone. Just check and see, make sure the funds are gonna be there, so first week of August, be all set to start on the gravel again.
I believe you will be, yes.
Okay. The pump station is 5. The pump that needed to be rebuilt, because it's gone. I got the quote on that, was $6,009,
$6,096.
$96. That's the pump, that's the one that's been running on just one pump. And they've got the pricing to us now, so that needs to be signed so that I can get it faxed over tomorrow and get it audited so they can get it put in. On that,
Motion to sign this.
For the pump?
Yep.
Make a motion to sign for the pump.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0.
other than that, everything's going okay, but like I say, roofing and culverts will be done the first of the week. And then we'll start gravel and get the rest of the gravel down.
When are you gonna start thinking about part-time?
Well, we posted it,
You did.
was it last week, Nancy, wasn't it? Yeah, there's been someone that's come in already, got an application for it, so we put the date down to get the applicants all back by the next meeting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
they're due
So-
August 11th, for, I think.
Yeah,
the day before.
so we'll take and,
I hate to think about it, but I mean, it's in July.
yeah,
So I had a resident call me about Artie, someone we all know, Bruce Manza. And Artie had done some ditching out by one of his fields, and he wanted me to publicly say that he done a great job. And he's sure he never gets enough praise. People complain more than they tell him he's done a great job, so
Awesome.
thank you.
oh, thank you.
And no, you can't have a raise. Yeah.
So,
Awesome, that's good.
Nancy.
We finished the flooring job. That was done on Thursday by noontime. They were wrapping up, and actually we had Highway here helping to move stuff in as they're trying to finish up. But we got all the offices flooring put down, and all the furniture moved back. We were closed to the public. Unfortunately, it was just with the chaos and the noise and whatnot, it just wasn't a good environment to be open. So thank you all for your patience on that. And then the only other thing that I wanted to report is that Roger Peppard, our assessor's agent, is coming in the office on Monday, July 28th, is coming Monday. And we would like to work on the commitment and actually do the tax commitment on that date. So I'd like to schedule a Board of Assessors meeting so that we can go over the potential mill rate and resulting overlay, and get the tax commitment done so I can get the bills and all that. If that's okay.
Motion to have
I
the
make-
assessors meeting on Monday in the afternoon.
I make a motion that we have an assessors meeting July 28th in the afternoon.
Second.
Then we'll
Second.
assess-
Further discussion? All those in favor? That's it.
That was all I had.
Selectmen concerns? Public session? Yes?
So I know I asked this question before about bids, and so sitting here listening to the IT discussion, you all just voted on the lowest bid and a consultant that said he hadn't totally reviewed everything. And sometimes, and I didn't get to look at it either as a citizen, but, you know, sometimes lowest isn't always the best, and I don't know this company, so I'm not trying to offend. But I asked before if you guys even had a bid policy, and you said no, but, so I'm just wondering if that might be something, a good idea to make a bid policy. I think back along, there used to be a bid policy that would discuss how you go about accepting the bids. And like these bids weren't even opened up here. Normally bids are opened up in front of people. Normally, in any municipality I've ever worked for, or even at the county. So, just curious, I mean, were we comparing apples to apples, apples to bananas, apples to onions?
We had
And that's
received,
just sarcasm, you don't have to answer that, but it was just, I really do think that there needs to be a bid policy. When I asked before, everyone said, no, there really wasn't one.
The only policy we had years ago was at what rate would you go out to bid? If it was $2,000 or less, did you need to go out to bid? It's the only thing I remember having. As far as a policy,
I think that that should be something that should be looked at.
So the only thing you guys look at is what they quote a bid as, that's your only criteria as to who gets a bid?
what other criteria would you use?
Is it local? How local? Is it, if it's within 10%? If it's within 10%, say it's a local person and it's within maybe 10%, would you want to take the local person versus somebody over in Bangor? Would you want to stay local? I think that there's options that you could ask other municipalities.
We took the most local.
And you could have, I don't know, I'm just asking, what does Artie do for his bids? But I don't think that you really have a consistent bid policy. So that's all I'm just
That's
recommending.
something we could look at.
That's what I was asking, yeah, respectfully,
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
thank you.
You know, I know some of the things, you know, as far as construction wise is concerned, a lot of times when Chimbro puts in bids, a lot of times anybody that puts in a bid to do work with them or work they're gonna do, their safety standards, their standings, their insurance that they have goes into it. I mean, there's a lot to look at rather than just who's giving me the lowest number.
And most of the bids that we do like that are they're pre-done. We don't put a bid out to someone we don't know, or they've been pre-accepted. So we know that they've got insurance, we know they've got a lot of the things you're talking about.
Okay. Okay, so
This was.
I'm just saying that would go towards what she's saying, you know,
Yeah.
what is your bid process and criteria? Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Number 12.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?